Okay, my friend Healer25. I think we got totally misunderstood because too much time went down between when we talked. And I've been having difficulty with that with you for quite a while. I mean, 3 weeks goes by and you can't remember where you were at 3 weeks ago. So I don't think that we had to do an uninstall at all. I think the whole problem was simply that you had the double file extension, and that's why you got what you did. You got the whole index uh, .php .text file printed out on the screen because you told it to be a text file. Okay, let's go over how this whole thing is done. Here's the htdocs, but before I talk about the htdocs, let's go over how we get htdocs out there on the desktop. Here's the htdocs right here. And what I do is I right click on htdocs. I hover over send to, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on desktop create a shortcut. So after hovering over send to, I'm going to choose uh, create a desktop shortcut. Boing, and there it is. You see it just shot out right there. htdocs shortcut number 2. Okay, now you have to do that with your own. Yours won't look like this one here. Yours will be orange looking and it'll look more like a suitcase. That's because I'm using XAMPP for Windows 1.7.3. You're using XAMPP for Windows 1.7.4. Yours is easier to use than mine, but I'm used to this one, so I see no good reason to change it around. All right, so I'll click off on that, and I don't need this over here because I already had one, so I'll delete that. Yes, I want to delete that. Now, when you are creating uh, let me see if I just go into XAMPP. Should I go into XAMPP? Yeah. Okay. For example, once you have the thing up there, you open up a browser window. This is the browser window up here. See where it says http colon slash slash www.google.com. That's my home page right there when I open up to Google all the time. I'm a Google type of guy. So I can just remove the www, delete it, boink, and now I don't have to type http colon slash slash. It's already there, you know. So now I'm just going to type localhost host localhost. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, it's asking me now for a password, so I have to change this, and now I have to change this, uh, and then when I hit enter, okay, I'll hit OK. Same thing. Okay, now I'm into this is the home page for XAMPP for Windows, and I can do a status check and always takes a second or two. I'm used to things just flashing on, but this is the way it works. Anyway, okay, so everything is activated except for the SMTP, which is mail, and FTP, which is going up to. I don't use those things, and so everything is fine. But here's the thing I went to documentation, and then from documentation I chose PHP documentation, and then once I got into the manual, uh, let me see, introduction, I went to a simple tutorial. And what do I need? Your first PHP enabled page. I went there. And this here is the very first one that they give you. Um, Example 1, our first PHP script, hello.php. Okay, great. I'm just going to highlight this, right click, and choose copy. Okay, done. Now I can get out of there. Shut the whole thing off. Now I can open up a notepad. There it is. There's a notepad. Right click inside the notepad and click paste. Now what I have here is the HTML template. There it is. HTML head title. Close the head, open the body, put the PHP script in the body, close the body, close the HTML. Uh, this is the way it's done. Okay, now that I have that, uh, I can minimize that down to the taskbar tray. Now I can open up my htdocs. Now you can see I already have a hello PHP in here, but I'll take that out and just leave it out there. Now I don't have one in here, but you basically what you have to do is you right click in the white space, you choose new, you come down here, you choose text document, and now here's where we're going to run into the problem of php.txt. Okay, I'm going to write the name of my new document is hello.php, and now I'm left with hello.php.txt. All I have to do is hit the delete button, delete the dot, delete the txt, and now hit enter. Are you sure you want to change it? Yes, I'm absolutely sure, 100% every time. I always want to change it. And now what I have is a document called hello.php. And it doesn't say hello.php.txt. So my feeling is that your server was working fine. But when you used index.php.txt, the server had no choice but to print the contents like this right here. This is what you got returned. And probably that's what was supposed to be returned. Only I didn't understand your question because I had been away from this for too long, and when I saw that and I said something is wrong with the XAMPP installation, I'm like, uh-oh, time to uninstall and start over again. Possibly it wasn't necessary, but we are where we are, and that's what's happening. So let's continue on with this. Now there's nothing in the document that you just created named hello.php. So how do you get something in there? Well, you pull up your untitled notepad where you copied the text, right click on the untitled notepad, choose select all, right click again and choose copy, and then get rid of it, put it back down in the taskbar. Now you can right click in the document you just created, choose paste, and then you got one more step. You go to the file menu and you choose save. That's what puts it into hello.php. And the way you prove that is now if you double click on hello.php, there it is. There's your file. And now the way you get to it, now that you've placed your document in htdocs, we don't need this one anymore. We can just delete it. And now that it's in htdocs, all you do is just go to your browser window, and I should be using Internet Explorer because that's what you are using. But up here in the browser window, it's the same for Internet Explorer. Uh, you're just going to type http colon slash slash uh, localhost. What have I got? HOST localhost slash what was it? Hello PHP. Hello dot PHP and hit enter. And there it is. Hello world right there. The other one was better because it used H1, which prints it at 32 pixels tall and bold. This one just prints hello world and the computer font that's on your computer, probably just a serif font at 16 pix, man. So that's basically what that looks like. Okay, so now you click off of that, and we know that the server is working. We know that PHP is working. But the whole thing that I think you missed was just simply how to delete the extra file extension. Uh, okay, now here's another idea. I'm going to rename Hello PHP. I right click on it, choose rename, and I go up to the right hand side of it, and now I put dot T XT. Hit enter. Yes. Okay. Now I have what you had. And look what's happening over here, and this is a browser window, believe it or not. What's happening over here is it's printing the page just like yours did. So, for example, if I put rename up next to PHP and write .txt, hit enter, yes, look at what comes up in the browser window. So there was your problem. The problem was that you were running it with the .text extension, so you had to get a printout of what was inside the txt. Turns out that was, excuse me, turns out that's the only thing wrong. Now, if I go up here, right click and choose rename, and then go to the right hand side. You can see the cursor blinking on the right hand side of txt, backspace, txt dot. Hit enter. Yes, that goes away, and now PHP index.php is working correctly. So I would have to do the same thing to this one here. Right click, choose rename, put the cursor on the right hand side of txt and backspace, uh, and then hit enter. And you always choose yes. And that solves your problem. So I hope that solves your problems for the future, but you're still going to have to reinstall XAMPP. Uh, and now if we get any more problems, okay, uh, call me quickly. I mean, or post quickly while this stuff is still fresh in my mind. Don't wait 3 weeks.